Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1.2 Order of Operations. Now, this is my first time working the Mimeo, so please cut me some slack when it comes to handwriting. I hope you guys find these videos useful and you can refer to them throughout Chapter 1 if needed. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about something that should look familiar, okay? Order of Operations. This is something that you guys should have seen at some point in your math careers. I'm sure what looks even more familiar than that is this acronym. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, I'm sure you guys have talked about something like this in class, some sort of acronym, and this tells us how, or the order in which we need to simplify expressions. Okay, where the P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, M stands for multiplication, D division, A addition, and S subtraction. And this is the order in which you simplify expressions. So if I'm dealing with an expression, I always do the parentheses first, then the exponents, then multiplication and division go together, so I work those left to right, and same thing with addition and subtraction. They go together, so I work those left to right. Multiplication does not always come before division. Same thing, addition does not always come before subtraction. So throughout this video and throughout this chapter, please refer to these steps for order of operations. Okay, simplify your parentheses and brackets first, and whatever's inside them, then the exponents, and then multiplication and division, key phrase there, left to right, and same thing, do all addition and subtraction left to right. So we're going to quickly go through a couple problems from these notes. We're not going to do them all, but just enough to give you kind of a brief overview on order of operations. Okay, these first couple really just deal with exponents. So 4 squared, okay, we got to remember what that 2 stands for. Well, that means we're doing 4 times 4, multiplying 4 by itself twice, so we're going to get 16. What about when I have a fraction cubed? So I have 2/5 cubed. Okay, well, in this case, what does that really mean? It really means I'm doing 2/5 times 2/5 times 2/5. Okay? Now, a little trick or something that we need to know is anytime you have a fraction to a power, in this case it's cubed, you can distribute that power. And what I mean by that is we're not doing 3 times 2. I'm meaning we distribute that power to both the numerator and the denominator. So this is going to turn into 2 cubed over 5 cubed. Now, remember, 2 cubed does not mean 2 times 3. 2 cubed means 2 times 2 times 2. And 5 cubed does not mean 5 times 3. It means 5 times 5 times 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So our final answer would be 8 over 125. Alright, let's do this next one. 0.3 to the 5th. Okay, this is a tricky one, and because we're taking a decimal and we're multiplying by itself 5 times. Multiplying it by itself 5 times. So really what this means is we want to do 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3. But working with decimals, that can be tough to do in your head. So we need to make this problem easier for ourselves. We're going to take this decimal, okay? Whoops. We're going to take this decimal and we're going to move it 1 over. So we're going to actually change the problem here for a second. We're going to turn this problem from 0.3 to the 5th into 3 to the 5th. So that looks something like something that that looks more familiar to us. So 3 to the 5th really means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do 3 to the 5th. Well, 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. 9 times 3 is going to give me 27. And I know 3 times 3 here, well, that's going to give me 9 as well. So really I have 27 times 9. Okay, so let's figure that out. Let's figure out what 3 to the 5th is. 9 times 7 is 63. I'll write the 3, carry the 6. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. So I have 243. Now, that's not my answer because I changed the problem. I changed the problem from 0.3 to the fifth to 3 to the fifth. So since I did that, I have to fix what I changed. So for every time I multiplied 3 by itself, which I did 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I need to move the decimal back. So we're always going to move the decimal back that amount. I'm going to move the decimal back 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my final answer now is going to be 0.00243. Alright, now let's get into some actual order of operations problems. Here I have 6 plus 15 divided by 5 minus 3. So let's always have our acronym written out for us to refer to. Well, what does the P stand for? The P stands for parentheses. Do I have any parentheses in this problem? I do not, so I can move on. Do I have any exponents in this problem? Nope. How about multiplication or division? Oh, I do have division. 15 divided by 5 is going to give me 3. So I have 6 plus 3 minus 3. And now all I have left is addition and subtraction, so I work left to right. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 9 minus 3 is 6. So 6 would be my final answer. Alright, let's go on to number 6 here. 62 minus 3 times 4 squared. Okay, let's refer back to our acronym. Do I have any parentheses? Nope, so I can move on. What about exponents? Do I have any exponents? I do. 4 squared. So let's work that out first. So I have 62. Just rewrite everything. Minus 3 times 4 squared is going to give me 16. Okay, so I'm done with the exponents. How about multiplication or division? Do I have any of those? I do. I have multiplication here. 3 times 16. Well, that's going to give me 48. So I have 62 minus 48. And now all I have left is subtraction. So let's do 62 minus 48. It's going to give me a final answer of 14. Alright, let's go on to problem 7 here. Problem 7 looks pretty tricky. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of everything in this problem. So again, always refer back to our acronym. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So let's start with P here. Do I have any parentheses? I do. So we have to fill that out first. Now, I have to solve the whatever's in parentheses first. So I'm just going to rewrite what I'm not worrying about. So I'm not worrying about the 24. I'm not worrying about the 6 squared. Not worrying about that 2. But I am worrying about 5 minus 3. That's 2. Okay. Alright, so we've done the parentheses. Now let's go to our exponents. Do we have any exponents? Well, we do. I have the 6 squared and the 2 cubed. So that's what I'm going to deal with now. 24 plus 6 squared is 36. Minus 2. And 2 cubed is 8. So I have 24 plus 36 minus 2 times 8. Go back to our acronym. Do I have any multiplication or division? I do have multiplication. So that's going to give me 24 plus 36 minus 16. And now we work left to right because all I have left is addition and subtraction. So 24 plus 36 is 60. And 60 minus 16 is equal to 44. Alright, let's go on to the big one here, number 8. Number 8 definitely has a little bit of everything in it. Okay, so number 8 has parentheses, or I'm sorry, it has these brackets, and then within the brackets it has parentheses. Okay, so we know the first thing we need to deal with is what's inside the bracket. Now, inside this bracket, what do I deal with first? So really, now I have to go back to my acronym within the parentheses. So within this first bracket, I have to work inside these parentheses first. And within these parentheses, what do you think I should do first? Should I do 35 minus 2, or should I do 2 to the 5th? Well, exponents come first, so we need to do 2 to the 5th before we do anything else. So, let's go ahead and rewrite everything. So I have 5 and then the bracket I'm working in, 7 plus, and the parentheses that I'm working in within that bracket, 35 minus 32. This 32 came from 2 to the 5th. 2 to the 5th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that's where that 32 came from. Cubed all over 17. Alright, so now again I'm working within this bracket. So let's go within that bracket. What should I do first? Well, now I gotta do the parentheses first. So what's 35 minus 32? Well, it's going to give me 3. So I'm left with 5. In my bracket, 7 plus 3 cubed all over 17. Alright, so now I have my bracket here. So what do I need to do first? I need to do 3 cubed. So that's going to give me 27. So I'm going to have 5. And then bracket 7 plus 27 all over 17. Okay, so I still have my bracket. I still haven't gotten rid of my bracket, so I got to simplify that. 7 plus 27. It's going to give me 34. So I have 5 times 34 all over 17. Okay, so now we have some basic math to worry about. Well, what's 5 times 34? Well, we can write that out. Think back to what you learned back in middle school and elementary school. 5 times 4 is 20. Write the 0, carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. So really I have 170 divided by 17. So that's going to give us an answer of 10. Alright, so what I want to do now is I actually want to do this number 11. I know I kind of wrote in their space, so we're going to kind of work on number 11 over here. Let me cross off number 10 here so we don't get confused. So anytime I'm working with negative numbers in order of operations, let's deal with the signs first. Okay, so I have 3 minus a negative 9. Well, anytime you have minus a negative or two negatives right next to each other, we're going to make those pluses. So really I want to turn that into 3 plus 9, because minus a negative is a plus. Now, do I see minus a negative anywhere else in here? I do. Okay, I see it right here. I have 9 minus a negative 4. So minus a negative, I'm going to turn that into pluses. So I have 3 plus 9 plus 4 times 9. So now I have all I have here is a multiplication symbol and then 2 addition symbols. So my order of operations rules will tell me that I need to do my multiplication first. So 4 times 9 is going to give me 36. So I have 3 plus 9 plus 36. And now I just work left to right. 3 plus 9 is 12. And 12 plus 36 is going to give me 48. Alright, let's go to this next page here. We are going to evaluate expressions. Okay? Now, here's what I want to do. When it says evaluate each expression for x equals 5 and y equals 3, that means that everywhere I see an x in this problem, I'm going to plug in 5, and everywhere I see a y, I'm going to plug in 3. Okay, so let's do this problem right here. Here's an x, I'm going to plug in x there, 5 squared, plus 5, there's another x, minus 18, divided by y squared, so divided by 3 squared. Okay, now this problem looks like a problem that we would have seen on the previous page. Let's follow order of operations. Do I have any parentheses? Nope. What about exponents? I do. I have 2 spots that have exponents, so I'm going to simplify those. So I have 25 plus 5 minus 18 divided by 3 squared. 3 times 3 is 9. Alright, now do I have any multiplication or division? Well, I do. I have division here. So we're going to do that. 18 divided by 9 would give me 2. So I have 25 plus 5 minus 2. Okay? And since all we have left is addition and subtraction, we work left to right. 25 plus 5 is 30. And 30 minus 2 would give me an answer of 28. Alright, so how about number 17? Same thing, we're still plugging in the same numbers. We're plugging in 5 for x and 3 for y. So I see here I have parentheses 5 times 3. So I'm plugging in 5 for x and 3 for y. Squared divided by 5 times 5 times 3. Okay, so let's do what's in parentheses first. I have 5 times 3, so it's 15 squared divided by 5 times 5 times 3. Alright, so we've got to move on to exponents now. So I have one spot in here which is with an exponent, that's 15 squared. So that's 15 times 15. 5 times 5 is 25. 5, carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Add my 0 down there. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So what happens when I add 75 and 150? 225. Some of you might have known off just by mental math that 15 squared was 225. So, I have 225 divided by 5 times 5 times 3. Now, here's where the biggest mistakes happen. Okay? We do not want to do 5 times 5 times 3 first, even though it's multiplication, because remember, multiplication and division go hand in hand. So from here we have to work left to right, which means the first thing we need to do is 225 divided by 5. So how do I do that? Well, what's 5 divided by 225? 5 goes into 2. Well, it doesn't. 5 goes into 22 4 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 22 minus 20 is 2. Bring that 5 down. 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. And when I subtract that, I get a remainder of 0. So, 225 divided by 5 is 45. Times 5 times 3. So now all that's left is to multiply all of those together. Well, 45, or let's do what we know first. 5 times 3 is 15. So what is 45 times 15? Well, go back to elementary and middle school multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Add your 0. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 4 is 4. So we have 225 plus 450, and that's going to give us an answer of 675. Alright, one last problem. We have 3y to the 4th minus 6y over xy minus 6. Alright, so again, let's just plug in what we know here. We know that we're plugging in 3 for y, so we have parentheses 3 times 3 to the 4th minus 6 times 3 all over xy minus 6. So that's 5 times 3 minus 6. Alright, so let's deal with the exponents, or the parentheses first, I'm sorry. So 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. So I have 9 to the 4th minus 6 times 3 all over 5 times 3 minus 6. Alright, do I have any exponents? I do. I have a 9 to the 4th. So what is 9 to the 4th? Well, that's 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. So what's that going to be? Well, 9 times 9 is 81. And 9 times 9 is 81. So I have 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. I know that these two are 81. And these two are 81. So I have to do 81 times 81 to figure out what 9 to the 4th is. So I'm going to have 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. Add my 0. 8 times 1 is 8. And 8 times 8 is 64. So 9 to the 4th is going to give me 1. 8 times 8 is, or I'm sorry, 8 plus 8 is 16. 6, here's a 1. So I have 6,561, or 9 to the 4th. So I have 6,561 minus 6 times 3 is 18, all over 5 times 3 is 15, all over 15 minus 6. So take a second and try to simplify the top and the bottom, and then at the end we'll divide them. Okay, even though this is considered the division side, we always do the numerator and the denominator separate. Alright, so I'm going to erase this right here so I can have some more room to finish this problem. Alright, so 6,561 minus 18. What's that going to give me? Well, so that means on top I have 6,543 divided by 15 minus 6 is 9. Okay, so now we have some long division to do. So what's 9 divided by 6,543? Well, 9 doesn't go into 6, but 9 does go into 65. It goes in 7 times. So 9 times 7 is 63. Alright, so 65 minus 63 is 2. 9 doesn't go into 2, so we have to bring down the 4. How many times does 9 go into 4? Well, 9, 18, 27. Only 2 times. 9 times 2 is 18. 24 minus 18 is 6. Does 9 go into 6? Nope, so we have to bring down the 3. This is going to work out nice because 9 does go into 63. 7 times. 9 times 7 is 63. So if I do 9 times 7, that's going to give me 63 minus 63, which will give me a remainder of 0. So 6,543 divided by 9 gives me a final answer of 727. So you can see that these problems do get complicated, but if you follow your steps, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and follow these order of operations steps, you can break down these problems into separate pieces that are easier for you to solve. I hope this video was helpful. Please watch it as many times as you need, and also look back for videos on other sections in Chapter 1.